I'm Lex Levy.
Today, I take you with us on a journey deep into the Fayoum Oasis, on a mission to explore the mysterious Hawara Pyramids,
And I am standing in front of the Pyramid of Hawara.
and search for evidence of the legendary Lost Labyrinth.
And the legendary labyrinth that Herodotus wrote about is right this way.
A structure claimed to be greater than the Pyramids of Giza that still lies hidden, waiting to be revealed. We'll delve into the ancient accounts, retrace the footsteps of the great Flinders Petrie, the only person known to have entered the now flooded Hawara Pyramid, and learn about the groundbreaking work of Louis de Cordier and the Mataha Expedition, alongside the high-tech discoveries of Tim Akers and Merlin Burrows. Using advanced scanning technology, they revealed 2 concealed chambers beneath the pyramid, and something truly extraordinary, a freestanding, centrally located metallic object, 40 meters long, hidden within the labyrinth. What is this enigmatic structure? A relic of lost technology? A forgotten key to Egypt's deepest secrets? Let's find out.
Follow me, let's go explore. Welcome back, I'm Lex Levy. We're on our 3rd site visit on our expedition around the Fayoum Oasis, and I am standing in front of the Pyramid of Hawara, attributed to Amenhotep III, who first built the Black Pyramid in Dashur.
The Pyramid and Labyrinth of Hawara is attributed to Amenhotep III, who ruled circa 1800 BC as the 6th pharaoh of the 12th dynasty, reigning for 45 years. He built 2 pyramids, the first in Dashur, the so-called Black Pyramid, and it is thought that the structural problems at this pyramid led to the construction of the Hawara Pyramid, believed to be started in his 15th year. Lepsius discovered cartouches bearing the name of Amenemhet's daughter, Sobek-Neferu, suggesting that she made additions to the labyrinth during her reign as the first female pharaoh in Egypt.
And the legendary labyrinth that Herodotus wrote about is right this way. Follow me, let's go explore.
The 2008 Mataha Expedition was a ground-penetrating radar survey project conducted at Hawara. It was initiated by Belgian artist and independent researcher Louis de Cordier, in collaboration with the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities and supported by the University of Ghent. The primary goal was to investigate the location of the legendary labyrinth described by ancient historians like Herodotus, Strabo, and Pliny the Elder, said to be a vast underground complex located near the Hawara Pyramid. Using advanced GPR technology, the Mataha team scanned the area south of the pyramid and beneath the existing archaeological layers. What they found was extraordinary. A massive grid-like subsurface structure, which suggested the presence of walls, chambers, and corridors, matching the descriptions of the fabled labyrinth. These features were found at a depth of several meters below the surface, beyond the reach of prior excavations. Despite these promising results, sadly, further exploration was halted. The findings were not widely publicized in academic circles, and full-scale excavation was never approved. Some speculate that the results were intentionally downplayed or suppressed due to the implications of such a discovery. You can find more details about what happened on Louis de Cordier's website, link in the video description below. In summary, the Mataha Expedition provides compelling geophysical evidence that a large, unexplored, labyrinthine underground structure exists at Hawara. Tim Akers, an ex-military tech researcher and programmer and chief researcher at Merlin Burrows, led a high-tech investigation into the Hawara Pyramid complex using multispectral satellite imagery and proprietary technology developed by their team. Their mission was to verify ancient accounts and explore whether the legendary labyrinth might still lie buried beneath the sands near the pyramid of Amenemhat III. A prior investigation into the Colossi, said by Herodotus to have stood at the top of dual pyramids in the artificial Lake Moeris, were confirmed by his scans, giving a clue to the labyrinth's proximity. Their analysis confirmed and expanded upon earlier findings by the Mataha Expedition, using satellite and aerial imaging combined with deep ground scanning technologies. Merlin Burrows detected 2 hidden subterranean chambers beneath the pyramid and identified the layout of an extensive underground structure, matching classical descriptions of the labyrinth, a massive grid of walls, corridors, and enclosures. But their most astonishing discovery, found at the heart of the labyrinthine structure, is a freestanding metallic anomaly, approximately 40 meters in length. Here, Tim Akers describes his findings. Quote, "The entire deeper understructure is free of water, and our scan data clearly shows it to be hollow. All layers converge at a central corridor or avenue, like the atrium of a shopping mall, where you can see all floors from one vantage point. A hall consisting of a massive space, 40 meters wide and no less than 100 meters long. My personal interpretation is that the entire hall was constructed to house a centrally positioned, freestanding object about 40 meters long. The central object is hard to classify. It appears metallic, not stone or wood. It might also be an upright disc or even a colossal shenring, the ancient Egyptian symbol representing the eternal cycle of creation. That big object alone raises profound questions. How did it get there, and why is it there?" A more speculative theory is that it's some kind of portal, either interdimensional or interstellar, a stargate. Its material signature is unlike anything I've seen in my entire career. But it's there, undeniably there. These deeper layers form an underground complex the size of 10 football fields. Closer to the surface, we notice a moat-like feature dug around the entire site, its shape unmistakably echoing the form of a Greek omega, or more significantly, the ancient Egyptian shenring, both symbols of eternal life, suggesting a deliberate, perhaps sacred, reoccurrence of the motif. But was it a defensive moat filled with water like in medieval castles, or more like the recently discovered dry moat at Saqqara? The question remains. Surrounding the pyramid are numerous peaks and deep shafts that seem to end in a chamber. These are likely Persian shaft tombs, vertical burial structures from the late period and the subsequent Persian dynasty. That's around the same time that Herodotus visited Hawara. These tomb shafts are known to reach depths of 30 meters, with side chambers carved at various depths and dimensions of up to 8 by 10 meters. Testament to their monumental scale." End quote. Back at the Pyramid of Hawara, the scans unmistakably show not one, but 2 chambers beneath the monument. One aligns with the well-known burial chamber uncovered by Flinders Petrie in January 1888. The second, still undiscovered, lies beyond what Petri described as the blind passage. He documented that the tunnel ended in what appeared to be a solid wall, with no immediate evidence of chambers beyond it. Yet, with the benefit of hindsight and new data, it's plausible that Petri reached not a definitive end, but rather a false terminus, a black transitional section deliberately sealed or naturally obscured by the water. This leads to a compelling hypothesis that the hidden passage lies just beyond forming a subterranean link between the pyramid and the deeper structures of Hawara. Such a connection would not only align with the ancient testimony of Herodotus, who spoke of a tunnel joining the pyramid to the labyrinth, but it is also strongly supported by modern geophysical evidence. both the Mataha Expedition in 2008 and the joint Polish-Egyptian survey conducted by the University of Wrocław and Cairo University detected anomalies and voids in precisely this area, suggesting that Petri may have stopped just short of one of the most significant buried features of the entire complex. If verified, this would confirm that the blind passage does not mark an ending at all, but rather the hidden threshold to the legendary underground of Hawara, the Lost Labyrinth of Egypt. Tim Akers and Merlin Burrows brought cutting-edge technology to Hawara and unveiled what may be one of the most significant buried architectural sites ever to exist, one that has yet to be properly excavated or publicly acknowledged. May Tim Akers rest in peace and his legacy live on.
Cigar smoking cameraman. Now I'm standing in a display of the different geologies that were found on site. Here is a bust made of calcite. We have limestone and a red granite pillar. Fragments of pottery. And here we have quartzite, which apparently is what the container within the pyramid is made out of. Here you can see an inclusion of flint here. Is made of mud brick, just like the Black Pyramid. And looking to the left, you see all of these mounds are where people have attempted to excavate in search of the legendary labyrinth.
In Book 2 of his histories, Herodotus gave the following account of the labyrinth. Moreover, they, the 12 kings, resolved to join all together and leave a memorial of themselves, and having so resolved, they caused to be made a labyrinth situated a little above the lake of Moeris and nearly opposite to that which is called the City of the Crocodiles. This I saw myself, and I found it greater than words can say. For if one should put together and reckon up all the buildings and all the great works produced by the Hellenes, they would prove to be inferior in labor and expense to this labyrinth. Though it is true that both the temple at Ephesus and that at Samos are works worthy of note, the pyramids were greater than words can say, and each one of them is equal to many works of the Hellenes. Great as they may be, but the labyrinth surpasses even the pyramids. It has 12 courts covered in, with gates facing one another, 6 upon the north side and 6 upon the south, joining on one to another. And the same wall surrounds them all outside, and there are in it 2 kinds of chambers, the one kind below the ground, and the other above upon these, 3,000 in number, of each kind 1,500. The upper set of chambers we saw ourselves, going through them, and we tell of them having looked upon them with our own eyes. But the chambers underground we heard about only, for the Egyptians, who had charge of them, were not willing on any account to show them, saying that here were the sepulchres of the kings who had first built this labyrinth, and that of the sacred crocodiles. Accordingly, we speak of the chambers below by what we have received from hearsay, while those above we saw for ourselves, and found them to be works of more than human greatness. For the passages through the chambers, and the goings this way and that way through the courts, which were admirably adorned, afforded endless matter for marvel. As we went through the court to the chambers beyond it, and from the chambers to the colonnades, and from the colonnades to the other rooms, and then from the chambers again to the other courts. Over the whole of these is a roof made of stone like the walls, and the walls are covered with figures carved upon them, each court being surrounded with pillars of white stone fitted together most perfectly. And at the end of the labyrinth, by the corner of it, there is a pyramid of 40 fathoms, upon which large figures are carved, and to this there is a way made underground. Such is this labyrinth, but a cause for marvel even greater than this is afforded by the lake, which is called the Lake of Morris, along the side of which this labyrinth is built. This is Sir Flinders Petrie's account of the labyrinth. How far, then, will the remains at Hawara agree with the descriptions of the magnitude and importance of the labyrinth? We read of the enormous extent of the buildings, and of their exceeding in vastness of all the temples of the Greeks put together, and that they even surpass the pyramids. Of the beauty and magnificence of the work we cannot judge, as almost every stone has long since been broken up and removed, but the extent of the area we can measure is marked out by the immense bed of chips of fine white limestone, which lies on the south of the pyramid. Wherever we dig down, we find a bed of flat laid sand, or a beaten made of chips of stone rammed down, on which to lay the pavement and walls of some enormous building. And over that lie thousands of tons of fragments of the destroyed walls. On tracing these signs to the limits, it is found that they cover an area about 1,000 feet long and 800 feet broad. These mere figures will not signify readily to the mind the vast extent of construction, but when we compare it with the greatness of other Egyptian temples, it may somewhat be realized. On that space could be erected the great hall of Karnak, and all these successive temples adjoining it, and the great court and pylons of it, also the temple of Mut and that of Khonsu, and that of Amenhotep III at Karnak, also the two great temples of Luxor, and still there would be room for the whole of the Ramesseum. In short, all of the temples on the east of Thebes, and one of the largest on the west bank, might be placed together in one area of the ruins at Hawara. Here we certainly have a site worthy of renown, which the labyrinth acquired. It seems that Flinders Petrie reached the roof of the subterranean portion of the labyrinthine structure, still hidden beneath the sands. Looted of its fine stone, the labyrinth continued to be quarried up to the modern times. Petrie stated, "Of the pavement, the principal part to be seen is in the eastern half of the site. Some years ago, this covered a tolerable space, and perhaps some trace of its walls might have aided us in recovering the plan. Unhappily, the engineers of the railway found the place and steadily quarried it for its stone, just as the barbarians of the Roman age had done here long before. The last remains of the labyrinth were thus destroyed in our own time, and when an official of the Bulak Museum visited the place, he conveniently reported that this pavement of 2 different layers of stone was native rock, so the quarriers had it their own way."
Looking into this pit, you can see a great representation of what still remains under the sand. There are limestone constructions. Was it quartzite?
The exploration of the Hawara Pyramid is very scant. Basically, Petrie's report on the structure is the primary source. Petri would begin excavations in January of 1888 and publish his findings in Kahun, Gurab, and Hawara, 1890. Petri would notice that some previous excavator, he thought maybe Lepsius or Vesali, had previously attacked the north face of the pyramid. Petri would do partial clearances of the north and east sides in hope of finding an entrance, but to no avail. He even excavated in the center of the ruins of a small temple on the north side, where Lepsius found some blocks bearing the cartouches of Amenemhat III, in case this structure was built over the entrance to the pyramid. The south side of the pyramid was deeply encumbered with debris, so Petri reluctantly decided to tunnel into the middle of the pyramid from the north face.
So the skulls are from Roman burials that have been found around the site. This is another piece of, looks like dolerite. More red quartzite.
I'm standing in front of the legendary labyrinth that the Greek historian Herodotus wrote about. He said that the vastness was greater than all the Greek temples combined and that of the pyramids. And you can see all of these mounds are where people have tried to excavate to locate this under the sand. There are accounts of there being 300 to 3,000 mounds.
If you want to help support our research and expeditions, grab some merch from the new Archeo Alchemy store. Rock the classic logo in your favorite color combination with some beautiful alchemical prints. There are hats, mugs, hoodies, shorts, tanks, and tapestries. More designs are in the works, so stay tuned. And if you want to be the lifeblood of my channel, please become a member for early access, exclusive updates, and content. Thank you all so much. Now, back to our adventure.
Another small little display of some of the geology. So we have quartzite, red granite, fine white limestone, and this is a piece of the mud brick. And the first time I did this, I was absolutely shocked at how dense and heavy the material is. Those bricks that you can see up there probably weighs close to 10 kilos, which in US is about 22 pounds. They're extremely heavy. And the last time that I was here, the gate was completely closed. And we didn't even get a chance to walk down inside of here. So the mud brick exterior might not look like much. Again, so here's an example of one of these mud bricks. And I mean, so I can't pick that thing up with one hand. You can see the block right here. I would have to get two hands. I'm also trying to film and hold the GoPro and a cigar at the same time, but those things are super dense and extremely heavy. All right, there's a piece of red granite, and we're going to descend as far as possible down into the passage.
Let's go.
Which will not be very far, because as we get down to the bottom of this thing here, you can see it is completely filled with mud and water. The interior components of this structure are completely inundated. So we'll put in some diagrams so we can take a look at the interior components of the structure. Some extremely fascinating details about the construction of these inner chambers. And I will say, shout out to my wife Alexa from Ancient Odysseys, who's right here looking absolutely beautiful as always.
Babe.
And she pointed out that I hesitate to call these stairs because they aren't intended as stairs. They're blocking ratchets. Similar to what we see at the Lost Pyramid in Dashur. So, unfortunately, there's not much you can see on the inside of this pyramid.
Petri did not fully clear the entrance passage. He says, "All the passages were cleared out down to the water level, but it was not desirable to go lower, as a dry path is required. Since I left the place, I hear that both the tunnel entrance and the true entrance are choked. But it will be easy for anyone to reopen the mouth if a visit is desired. It would appear that Petri may be the only one to explore inside the pyramid." Here you can see what the water level would have been like during Petri's excavation in 1888. Since Petri's excavation in 1888, the water level has risen significantly, and here is a representation of what it was in 2013. Now, this video is getting quite long. I have slides prepared, and I intended to take you through the entire substructure of the Hawara Pyramid with Flinders Petrie's accounts, but I will save that for another adventure. Stay tuned for an episode focused entirely on the Pyramid of Hawara. This paper discusses the rising groundwater within the Hawara Pyramid. The mud brick structure shows signs of erosion, and the passages and chambers are currently submerged. The problem of the water ingress has mainly arisen since the 1880s. In this study, an initial assessment of the pyramid structure was made, and causes of water ingress were investigated through analysis of water samples. Stable oxygen isotope measurements indicate that the source of the water within the pyramid is the Bear Sala Canal. Water within the pyramid is highly saline compared to the Bear Sala, and the evaporation can only partly account for this high salinity. The composition of dissolved ions suggests that dissolution of salts in soils and from the bedrock in the vicinity of the pyramid has enhanced the salinity of the water percolating into the pyramid structure. Water ingress and salt deposition are at present the main threat to the integrity of the monument. French engineer Louis de Cordier supervised a major program of canal construction. As part of these hydrological improvements, a new subsidiary canal, the Bear Sala, was constructed in the late 1820s to take water from the Bear Yusuf to the northern part of the Fayoum. This newly created canal with fresh soil heaps is well depicted in an engraving by Lepsius in 1849. The Bear Sala Canal was cut through part of the ancient labyrinth complex that extends southeast from the pyramid site and passes within 70 meters of the pyramid itself. Howard Vyse and John Perring visited the site in 1837 and recorded a canal cut through the site, revealing the extent of the pyramid. A new spectacular series from National Geographic called Flooded Tombs of the Nile recently aired. It's a documentary exploring the underwater archaeological site of Nuri in Sudan, where the royal tombs of the ancient Kushite kingdom lie submerged. This documentary follows archaeologists as they dive into the flooded pyramid of King Natassen, examining the 3 chambers and searching for clues about Kushite history and burial practices. I have a proposal for National Geographic and their team of archaeologists that worked on Flooded Tombs of the Nile. I want their team to excavate the inundated pyramid of Hawara like they did in Nuri, Sudan, and let me help. I'm scuba certified. It is my dream to be a part of the excavations at Hawara Pyramid and Labyrinth, to carry on Flinders Petrie's legacy there.
Geological fragments down here. And I want to put in some river over here. This absolutely immense field. And the structure carries over onto the other side of the river.
Now walking on top of the labyrinth of Hawara. Here's one of its pillars.
She is absolutely dying to just go dig through all these holes. And
I want to dig so badly.
so you can kind of get a sense what this construction may have possibly been. See the other side of the river?
Let's go. Oh wow. This is the canal.
These white limestone blocks.
Oh, you're right.
That's another entrance to the other side of the temple across the river.
It cuts right through the labyrinth. Can we get over there?
Pieces of quartzite.
Chunks of flint, like you said. This is beautiful. How do we get across?
So you gotta walk all the way down, there's a bridge, and then you come back up this way.
Oh, cartouche?
Here, to the other side. Oh, just that little walk all the way down there. Which I understand, it's a long way to walk. But I'll show you. opening into the labyrinth temple complex here on the other side of the river. So just remember that this entire area.
Is it overheating?
No, it's battery low, but I still have.
It's colossal. What do you think the diameter is on that?
It's probably 3 feet across. Try to pick one of those things up.
See the straw in there still. Well, I've been going to the gym, so
It's pretty heavy, right?
yeah, probably 20 pounds. Thank you for bringing me here.
Merry Christmas.
So that was south. South. How many bricks? We could do the calculation. We knew the volume.
A lot of bricks.
Poland, the door and the pyramids. The door and the pyramids.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, another passage?
Dr. Poland. The water and the clothes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I see. When was the last time someone's been in there?
I didn't know there was a secondary opening.
Close. I mean, I'm tiny, but I'm not that tiny.
Yeah, let's take it out.
You're heavy.
The pyramids.
How many?
Come هنا.
Come, كتير.
Come.
كتير.
I think that's 1 million.
Katam?
كتير.
Katir.
1 million. 1 million.
Yes.
Katir, Katir.
1 million.
Yeah.
10 million.
10.
Sure does. It's interesting. Two pyramids. I see. Shukran.
Science labyrinth.
I understand. The two spheres?
I was wondering about that sloped part. It does look like it's an intentional part of the construction.
He says the two sides of the brain. Does it even go back here?
Huh?
Does it even go back here?
So I'm not sure, but I mean, obviously they've made all of those piles of sand where somebody's dug a hole and moved the sand out and piled it up somewhere. I mean, you can see this pile right here is all fragments of pottery. There's all kind of stuff that's buried out here. Yeah.
Mumia.
Saying that that's a Roman burial cemetery.
Nice.
What we have uncovered today at Hawara is both thrilling and deeply mysterious. From the ancient writings that speak of a vast underground labyrinth, to the rediscovery efforts led by pioneers like Flinders Petrie, Louis de Cordier, and Tim Akers, we now have compelling evidence that something monumental still lies hidden beneath the sands of the Fayoum. The detection of the two concealed chambers and a massive 40-meter-long metallic anomaly challenges our understanding of what the ancients were capable of, and hints at a technology or purpose we've fully yet to understand. One thing is for certain, the story of Hawara is far from over, and we'll be back to keep digging, investigating, and unveiling the truth. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. Land of Chem, for the function of the pyramids, stone circles, and other ancient sites around the world. Let's Go with Lex and G for all of our crazy travel adventures and bizarre foods. And Egyptian Trash Cats for a saga cared for the street animals of Egypt. And please become a member for exclusive content and to help my channel grow. Thank you all for your support. Stay curious, stay questioning, and we'll see you in the next adventure on the trail of the ancient world's greatest mysteries. Never stop exploring.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I am Jeffrey Drum,
I'm Lex Levy.
and this is Egypt Eats. So today we have been exploring the pyramids of the Fayoum Oasis. Up at 5 o'clock this morning, we got to the site around, 9. We spent the past 6 hours exploring, and now it is finally time to eat. Yalavina.
Yalavina.
Akol Delwati.
Look at this.
We will eat and then we start to cry. Because we are very good.
Mo, what animal is this?
I don't know.
I'm a camel.
But you will taste it totally different from dinosaur.
Dark meat. Make sure you chew.
So this is duck?
If you want to help support our research and expeditions, grab some merch from the new Archeo Alchemy store. Rock the classic logo in your favorite color combination with some beautiful alchemical prints. There are hats, mugs, hoodies, shorts, tanks, and tapestries. More designs are in the works, so stay tuned. And if you want to be the lifeblood of my channel, please become a member for early access, exclusive updates, and content. Thank you all so much.